I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Okay. We are here on Unfazed with myself, JJ, and my boy, AJ. We have a great episode for y'all today. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about you, AJ, where I'm at. The weather been crazy. I mean, we had sunny days in the early morning. Then we had some snow come out after that. And then we had some freezing rain. So it was icy everywhere. And today we had like 62, 65 degree weather. I mean, it's just all over the place. Kind of like these storylines we got going on in the NFL and the NBA. It's just been wild. It's been all over the place. So we're going to give y'all a little bit of NFL, and we're going to give y'all a lot of NBA. But I'm doing good. AJ, how you doing, my boy?
I'm doing good, man. First off, I like how you tied that together. That was smooth. I didn't know you was going where you was going with the weather. You know what I mean? But you tied that together super well, man. But I'm doing great, man. I'm ready to get to these topics we talking about AJ. You know what I mean? AJ Brown, that is. Not AJ Woods. AJ Brown. We talking about that AJ. We talking about my Lakers a little bit. So I'm excited, man. I got a lot to get off my chest, and I'm ready to get to it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, sir.
Hey, before I do that, don't be hating, Carl. Yeah, I said don't be hating, man. Where's Teddy? I want to know where Teddy is. Don't be hating though, man. You know what I mean? Like twins, they here, man. They here. But the hat, it's fly though. It's fresh. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like the white hat. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like it, man. My hat collection getting kind of crazy since I cut my hair. I'm just saying, man. But, say that for another day. Man.
No, that hat is fresh though. I ain't gonna lie. It is. It's like you just got out the box.
Yeah, man. Gotta keep them clean.
Yes, sir. I just hope in the chat they say, "Oh, what's going on here?" Okay. Shout out to you. I just hope in the chat to say that. Oh, okay.
I appreciate it, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate it, man. Like I said, man, the hat collection going crazy right now. I'm just saying it's going crazy, man. So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So I want to know if the Eagles appreciate AJ Brown, because there's been a lot of buzz talk about AJ Brown. AJ, I saw your tweet. I saw that you was tired of this noise about AJ Brown. You sick of people talking about the whole thing. And we heard you last episode. I'm gonna bring y'all some Eagles content. I got the real sources. I know the real people. I know what's real, not fake. Y'all hearing the fake news. I got the real news. So AJ, we want to know, because there's a lot of speculations. I mean, first it was, I'm gonna get to that when I talk, but AJ Brown is on the market. Now, it's not saying that y'all want to trade him, but y'all are listening to offers. And y'all are asking for a big price, AJ. So I'm going to ask you a simple question that the whole Eagles nation want to know, and everybody else watching y'all too. Should the Eagles trade AJ Brown?
Joe, I go back and forth on this every day. And I know I say that for a lot of topics because I normally do go back and forth because you got to really think things through, right? For this one today, I woke up knowing that this will be the topic, did a little bit more digging, did a little bit more research. And I told myself the same thing I told myself towards the end of last season. I'm ready to move on. AJ Brown, like I've stated before, is the greatest Philadelphia Eagles receiver of all time. You could throw T.O. in there, but T.O. was only great for a year, maybe a year and a half with us. You could throw Deshaun Jackson in there, but he couldn't do quite as much as A.J. Brown could on the football field. You could even throw Smitty in there, at least from the football that I've seen. You could throw Smitty in there, but we know Smitty is kind of 1B to AJ's 1A. We all know the numbers he's put up in Philly. We all know he's had 4 straight 4,000-yard seasons, 3-time All-Pro. We know he's a Super Bowl champion, right? Played great in both Super Bowls, might I add. We talk a lot about how Jaden played in those Super Bowls. AJ was there too. AJ was balling in both those Super Bowls too. So credit to AJ where it's due. Big time player. It sucks to see if he does get traded, right? It kind of sucks to see him end his tenure in Philly on the note that it just ended on, with him playing that last game against San Fran, dropping those passes in crucial moments. But I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of the mixed messaging. I'm tired of the, he wants to stay, but does he? He wants to stay, but it don't look like he want to stay. Look at his body language. Look at how he plays on the football field. Why does it look like he want to be here, but he not giving full effort on these plays? Why does it look like when the ball not coming his way, he don't even want to run block? He don't want to, complete the play. If he's supposed to be a decoy in the play, and the play is supposed to go to Devontae Smith, why is it that he's half running routes? Why is he stopping on routes? I'm tired of all, there's all of that, right? Then there's the side of it where it's like, okay, again, you say you want to be in Philly, but then your agent is out here, which is true. Your agent is out here asking other teams, what you want to, could we make this happen? What would you offer in a trade for AJ? What would you do? Da, 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 da. Well, a few people have to okay an agent doing that because the agent works for the player. AJ Brown has to okay his agent doing that. His agent ain't just doing stuff just to do it. And that also has to be an okay from the Philadelphia Eagles, right? So while he's saying he want to stay, and while even Howie Roseman is saying, yeah, we want AJ to stay, Sirianni, we want AJ to stay. AJ wants to be here. The other reports are also true. So I kind of believe both in a way. You want to stay, right? The Philadelphia Eagles want you to stay. But if the offer's nice enough, you'll dip. And if the team is good enough for AJ, yeah, I wouldn't mind moving. It's frustrating for me as an Eagles fan on that level. The last level I want to mention, there's a Jalen Hurts level. There's a Jalen Hurts level. Jalen Hurts was just voted the most hated player in all of football. Let me repeat that for the people who didn't hear me. Jalen Hurts was just voted the most hated player in all of football. Jalen Hurts is constantly ridiculed, constantly scrutinized, constantly talked about in a bad light. And AJ helps that with his body language, with the stuff that he says, with the stuff that he doesn't say. I just heard Stephen A come on First Take a couple days ago and say, I don't believe AJ Brown trusts Nick Sirianni, and I don't think he trusts Jalen Hurts. Now, if that's not true, and you're AJ Brown and you got love for Jalen Hurts, your quarterback, you got love for your head coach, you're going to say something. Most players would. Media tripping. Stephen A, I wish if he just came on it, went on Twitter and said cap or said false, or, I wish people wouldn't speak for me, that would suffice. That would suffice. Because he mentioned two people, not just Jalen Hurts. He mentioned Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. So you could have just said false and left people to speculate which part was true, which he didn't say nothing. He ain't said nothing. Been off doing his thing while all of these rumors have circulated. And so I'm at a point with AJ Brown where I look at the Philadelphia Eagles. We may lose Dallas Goedert this offseason too, which is going to sting. But we still have Uno. For the people who didn't hear me in the bad, we still got Uno. Whether you love him or respect him, he a winner. So we still got him. We got Devontae Smith, a Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that by now should be a Pro Bowler, by now should be, an all-pro player that honestly, his light is constantly dimmed with AJ Brown, in my personal opinion. He is a clear one. Last year was on pace to have a career year before all of this stuff with AJ Brown started to pop off. Devontae is ready to step into that role and be number one for the Philadelphia Eagles. You still got 2-6 coming out of the backfield. I believe this offensive line will improve. We'll see what the defense looks like, but as long as we have Vic Fangio, right, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and Jalen Carter, I don't have much worries about the defense. So I think the defense will still be formidable. And I believe that Howie Roseman is a smart GM. Now, we ain't going to trade him for no cookies. We ain't going to trade him for no Oreos, no chocolate chip, no peanut butter. We not trading him for cookies. We gonna get a nice package for him, as you should. He's AJ Brown. Yeah, we gonna ask for a first. We gonna ask for a second, whatever the case may be. But shout out to my guy Carl. If y'all haven't checked him out, make sure y'all check him out. Carl Talking College, right? I had to reach out to him before the show because I haven't done my proper research on the draft just yet. It ain't time for me just yet. I'm into basketball. We're gonna talk about it in a second. But I asked him. I said, Carl, you the guy. You the college guy. What does the draft look like for receivers? And he's like, it's deep. You can get a guy in the first round. You can get a guy in the second round. It's like that. And in my head, I'm like, it's all kind of starting to make sense. Why Howie Roseman said, okay, you know what? I'll listen. I'll listen. Because you could get a guy in the draft if you get a high enough draft pick trade. Plus, you got to remember the Eagles also have a first. They're not looking to trade they pick, right? So you got a first. You could trade, get another first, or trade, get another second, right? And draft a receiver there. But you can also pick up a receiver in free agency. It's been rumblings of Mike Evans coming to Philadelphia. It's been rumblings of Alex Pierce coming to Philadelphia. Stephon Diggs was just released. Who knows where he'll end up going? So all I'm saying is, none of these guys I just mentioned are AJ Brown. But there are other options out there that could come in and be formidable for the type of offense that we run around. We know we are a run-heavy football team, right? That thrives off of running the ball, and with this new OC, thrives off of running the ball and play action. And I think that works for Devontae, whoever else we will bring in, Saquon Barkley, and with this defense playing the way it's playing. I'm going to say this, Joe, and I'm going to pass it to you. As crazy as this sounds, and this is no disrespect to A.J. Brown, if Howie Roseman does trade A.J. Brown and he fills it out the way he's supposed to fill it out, you still go get a receiver too to pair alongside Devontae Smith, whether it be free agency or you hit on a receiver in the draft, right? I believe Jalen Hurts will play more free, knowing that, hey, I ain't got to worry about Devontae talking to the media or this rookie talking to the media or Alec Pierce talking to the media or Mike Evans. I don't have to worry about that. I could just go out there and just do what it takes to win the game. I ain't got to force feed nobody. And I strongly believe the more I think about this, we won't miss a beat. I said it. I saw how the Eagles looked this past year without A.J. Brown in the lineup. I've seen how we looked years previous to A.J. Brown being in the lineup as well. It hasn't looked great, right? But I saw how we looked this year without A.J. Brown in the lineup. I saw how we looked this year when A.J. Brown wasn't getting a ton of touches. And we played well offensively until he had to be force-fed the ball in the Buccaneers game, right? Until he had to be force-fed the ball down the stretch, the games where we lost those 3 games straight. Now, that wasn't all on A.J. Brown because Hurts didn't play well either. But all I'm saying is, if he don't want to be here, let him go. If teams ain't offering enough, don't make the move. But if you get a fair package for him, I'm not about to sit here, Joe, and get a first, a second, and a player and be like, nah, I ain't going to trade AJ because it's AJ. Nah. If we get the package we want, it's time. It's time to move on and get a receiver 1 keys to Devontae Smith and go from there.
I'm shocked. I was not expecting you to go that route. I'm very shocked. Now, do I believe I should trade A.J. Brown right now? Only if it's an offer you can't turn down. That's it. If it's an offer you can turn down, turn it down. I don't think y'all are in a situation where you have to trade A.J. Brown because you got a new offensive coordinator. Is it Sean Mannion?
Sean Mannion.
Sean Mannion. All right, Sean Mannion. A lot of people believe that he will unlock Jalen Hurts. Like he will bring out a different side of Jalen Hurts on the passing game. So if you're going to do that, obviously you want all of the weapons there. You already going. There's no probably. I think you're going to lose Dallas Goedert. You're going to lose Dallas Goedert. But I'm 100% with you with Devontae Smith. He is a number 1 receiver. But A.J. Brown is another weapon. He is the number 1 receiver on your team. And y'all are 2-3 without A.J. Brown, including the playoffs. 0-1 in the playoffs, to be exact. So y'all are not the same team when he's now on the field. So if you have all your weapons as far as AJ, you got those 2 number 1 receivers, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith with Saquon Barkley. With the offensive line y'all had, it should be more healthier this year. Lane is coming back maybe for his last year. And with this new offensive coordinator, if he's going to unlock him, Jalen Hurts, like y'all believe he will, then it would do wonders for your team offensively. And the reason why I say you don't have to trade him now unless it's a trade you cannot turn down, because you would end up probably getting more if you trade him during the season. Because when you trade somebody during the season, people are normally in desperation mode and they're trying to make a push for a playoff berth or Super Bowl round. People tend to give up more during the season than they would in the off season. So that's why I would say that. Now, I agree with you 100% though when it comes to playing free, because Jalen Hurts, I will say there were a couple of games, just a couple of games last year, especially in the second half, like the Buccaneers game. All he was doing was trying to look for AJ Brown. So there were games like that where he was force feeding. But I will say the games y'all lost, because there was a narrative going out that said that once AJ Brown started complaining and getting his numbers, y'all started losing. And they try to pin it on that, when the offense actually looked better when y'all were feeding AJ Brown, because y'all were winning games when the offense was looking bad. The Chiefs game, he didn't do good in that game. Y'all still won. Now the Dallas game, Hurts played good, but the offense wasn't great. It wasn't like
a lot of turnovers in that game.
You know what I mean? You said what?
It was a few turns.
I'm talking about the first game of the season.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Hurts played good, but the offense wasn't like explosive. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like so, but AJ didn't really do well, right? So the Green Bay game, AJ didn't really get on touches, and look what happened. You know, so there are some games there where he didn't get touches, and y'all didn't look good. But then he got touches and y'all lost, but the offense played better than usual. Like I look at the Denver game, he got touches, y'all lost that game, but that was a weird game. That Denver game was very weird because I feel like y'all outplayed Denver, but they executed at the right time. It was a weird game, right? So, anyways, so I it's a weird situation, but my final thoughts is basically don't trade him just because you need to trade him. Like you're tired of him. His agent not even like his agent out here looking for trades to get AJ out of there. Stephen A. Smith said something and he never responded to it. Don't trade him because of that. Now, somebody offers a first round, second round. You know, they offer a great package where you could replace AJ and do more, because one thing about the Eagles, y'all do a great job in the draft outside of the Jalen Rager. But y'all do a great job in the draft. So I'm okay with that. But you don't have to. You can keep them. And then if anything, if the season goes on and y'all have the same mess, you can trade them in the season and probably get a better package.
Yeah, see, I hear you on that. The thing is, I'm not really thinking of that aspect of it. Now, if you're Howie Roseman, right, you're speaking from the outside perspective of like a Howie Roseman, how he should handle it. I'm speaking as a fan right now. I ain't gonna lie. I'm speaking as a fan right now. And as a fan, I don't look at it like if we trade him mid-season, we gonna get more for him. If we trade AJ Brown mid-season, that means our season ain't going the way that you would want it to go. And now you're getting rid of your best player one of your best players mid-season. And that throws off chemistry. That throws off camaraderie with the team. I'm sure that throws off the locker room. Opposed to make the trade because, and I'm going to say this again, I think the Eagles in the Super Bowl window with AJ. I think the Eagles in the Super Bowl window without AJ. So if you're thinking of it from that perspective, especially in this NFC, and no disrespect to Seattle, we just seen Seattle go to the bowl and win it, bro. We just seen Sam Darnold hosting up a trophy with a great defense, JSN, and a solid running back. So I'm looking at it like the Eagles are still in my opinion, within the same or at least similar window than they have been in, whether they have AJ Brown or not. I'm just coming from the mindset of like, yes, Howie Roseman doesn't need to think of it as like, Howard Roseman doesn't need to trade him. Howard Roseman can't have the mindset of, I'm tired of him. I'm tired of this. But you should have the mindset of like, do you want to be here though? Like, do you really want to be here? Because Sean Mannion can come and get you your numbers, but you're going to have games where you're not getting numbers. You're going to have games where Sean, it's already been reports like, hey, buy your Devontae Smith stock now, because whether AJ stays or not, Smitty getting the rock as he should. Smitty's going to get a lot of touches this year. Saquon gonna still get his touches, and coming off a season where we just got bounced in the first round, you best believe Jay Hurts is trying to win. He don't care nothing about forcing you to football. You brought up the Broncos game. What you didn't mention, which I'm sure you forgot about, is the play where he got loose in the secondary I think it was 24-7 or something along those lines at the time, or it might have been 17-24. I think it might have been 17-24. I'm sorry, no, 7-17. AJ Brown got loose in the secondary. Jalen Hurts getting ready to throw it to him. He stopped running. So Jalen pumps and then overthrows him because AJ stopped. Like, it's moments like that that shifted the momentum of the game. I don't think we got in field goal range after that moment in the game. AJ Brown keeps running that route. That's a touchdown. And that's another game that puts us potentially as the 2 seed in the NFC. It's the small things as a receiver that you can tell when a receiver is engaged and when a receiver is not engaged. Now, again, Jalen Hurts is not completely off the hook. We put a lot on our coach, our offensive coordinator. Some needs to be put on Jalen Hurts as well, because there are times where it's like, yo, it's AJ Brown. Find a way to give him the ball, right? But it gets to a point where, as Jalen Hurts, he ain't gonna say it, but I know he got to be tired. Bro, you ain't never had this type of success in Tennessee playing with Ryan Tannehill. You came over here, became a 3-time All-Pro. You came over here and had all these 1,000-yard seasons. You came over here and became a Super Bowl champion. And I ain't saying this all because of me, Jalen Hurts, but you didn't accomplish shit without me. So now all of this stuff is coming out about me and about our relationship and all this stuff. And he just let them. It's only so much, and we can move on, Joe. It's only so much I'm about to allow somebody to say to me about Joe. It's only so much that people can, if somebody speaking on our chemistry of Unfazed, I don't think AJ trusts Joe on Unfazed. Joe, if I don't say nothing, best believe it's true. Best believe that's how I feel. But even so, Joe, if you my guy, if I have respect for you, I'm still gonna come out and be like, yo, we might not be on the best of terms, but that's still my guy though. That's still my dog though. I'm not going to let you talk crazy. I might talk crazy about him, but I ain't going to let y'all talk crazy about him. And at every turn, AJ is silent. I'm at a point where I don't want to go into this season and have the same talks all year. I don't want to go into the season and have the same type of distraction. I know they say it's different in the locker room than it is on the outside. I understand that and I believe that. But as a fan, I'm not trying to go into this season dealing with, all right, if AJ didn't touch the ball today, how he going to react? Is he gonna read a book on the sideline? Is the media gonna be like, nah, I want to go into this season, feeling like, all right, these are the moves we made this offseason. We starting fresh. We building something kind of new. Smitty's still young. Jalen Hurts could very well still be entering his prime. We still got Saquon. We still got this young defense. Again, you get rid of AJ, that frees up cap space. Who knows how he does with that cap space, bro? So it's like, I just feel like, don't move him for anything. And don't rush it. But am I gonna be mad as an Eagles fan of how he say it's time? I got a first and a second for him and a player. Oh yeah, it's time to go. It's been fun. I appreciate your time, and I'm going to miss you because you're AJ Brown. But I think as a fan, I'm ready, Joe. The Seattle Seahawks had DK Metcalf, JSN, and I believe Tyler Lockett on the same team at one point. I think when JSN was a rookie, if I'm not mistaken, for one year, right? JSN began to ascend. Tyler Lockett not there no more. DK Metcalf not there no more. JSN ascends to being Offensive Player of the Year. K9 ascends as a running back. Sam Darnold balls out in the playoffs and partially in the regular season, and they win the Super Bowl. And this may be a crazy take, but Devontae Smith got the same skill set as JSN if given the opportunity. Saquon Barkley is better than K9, and Jalen Hurts is better than Sam Darnold. We just need a competent coach to get us going, our defense to play solid like they always do, and I feel like we will be just fine. I really do. I feel like we will be just fine. And if AJ stays, we'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine either way, but I think it's time. I think it's time, Joe.
So you think the offense won't miss a beat if y'all lose AJ Brown?
I think we might stumble out the gate, but by playoff time, I think we'll be fine, bro. And I think Jalen will be better without AJ. I really do. I think he will be better without AJ. Featuring Devontae as the number one option. I think if people forget that man, the Heisman Trophy. Devontae's ceiling is so high.
It is.
And I think I'm ready for Jalen to be free, but I'm also ready to see that next level in Devontae Smith. Because we keep getting sneak peeks of it, but then the moment we do, Joe, something happens with AJ, and it ruins it every year. It happened in 2023. Devontae started strong, and AJ got mad. Because in the Vikings game, he went off for like 150 or something like that. And AJ was on the sideline arguing with Hurts. Next few games, we start force feeding AJ, so he beat Calvin Johnson's record for the most 125-yard games in a row or something like that, right? That happened this past year. He went off, again, on pace for a career year. He went off for 180 yards against the Vikings. I was there. I saw every yard of it. 180 yards for Devontae Smith. And AJ, who went for 121 and 2 touchdowns, using me but not using me. I'm sick of this, bro. I'm so sick of this, bro. I think I'm gonna miss him, and I might end up regretting this later. But I'm ready, Joe.
That Vikings game was crazy though.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Yeah. But like I said, I don't think we skip a beat. I don't think we miss a level. But speaking of levels, Joe. Speaking of levels, I gotta ask you, man. Some interesting things came out. I don't know if it's been reported who actually said it. Right, I don't know if it's been reported who actually said it, but something came out from the Cavs that said, we believe we're on a different level than the Detroit Pistons. That's just the truth. We're on a different level than the Pistons. So for the people following, we transitioning over to basketball. Now, enough football free agency around the corner, though. So we're going to be back. But transitioning to the association, transitioning to basketball. I got to ask you, my boy, JJ, Joe Jordan, do you believe the Cavs are on a different level than the Detroit Pistons?
That's crazy. First of all, shout out to Carl in the comment section. Carl sounded like he saw a ghost when we brought it up to him. I want to say that. Oh, Lord. So now Unfazed wants to talk about the Pistons. So
just a little bit.
So, all right. This is what's going on. In the last 10 games, the Cavaliers are 7-3 against the Pistons. Last 10 games they playing them. This season they're 2-2, so they split with them. But in the first game they beat the Pistons by 21. That was early in the season, October. The second game they beat the Pistons in overtime. I'm sorry, the Pistons won. The second game the Pistons won by 4 early in the year in January. And then recently we just saw the Pistons beat them in overtime on February 27th. Day before my anniversary. Shout out to my wifey. But Donovan Mitchell didn't play that game, and they won in overtime. Then the quote came out. They lost in overtime without Donovan Mitchell. Mm-hmm. And the quote came out by Chris Fader, Cavs reporter, by the way. Give him a shout out. And the quote was, "They aren't in our class. They're not in our class." Right? And that quote came out on February 28th on my anniversary. Shout out to White Figure. Give her a shout out. So what bothers me about this, AJ, is this. The quote came out February 28th. They played again yesterday. Mm-hmm. Now, AJ, if you are on that Pistons team and that quote comes out and you know you got a game coming up in a couple of days, your mindset is like, oh, we're going to spank the Cavs. We're going to spank them. You watch the injury report. Donovan Mitchell is not playing. You like, oh, we going to wipe the floor with these dudes. Guess what? They lose. Mm-hmm. And that's a bad sign right there. Do you know against the Cavs, the Pistons are shooting below average of their field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. They're turning the ball over more than they average. They scoring less points over turnovers, less points in second chance points, less points in fast break, and less points in the paint against the Cavs. And the problem is this, it's Cade Cunningham, their best player. It's actually going to hurt Cade's MVP case because this is a now conversation. Cade against the Cavs, Cade for the season, 25.2 points per game, 45% field goal percentage, 32.9 3-point percentage. Against the Cavs, AJ, he's scoring 18.5 points per game. That's well below his average. He's shooting 34% from the field. What? And AJ, 16% from 3. Against the Cavaliers, he's terrible against the Cavaliers. Do you know yesterday alone, he was 4 of 16 from the field, which is 25%. 0 from 3, which is 0%. And look, you might say, oh, they having him set up for jump shots. He was 0 for 7 in the paint yesterday. K has not been good against this team. So me, I'm thinking it's something psychological. It has to be. It has to be. Now, do the Cavs got some defenders on the front line? Yes, they do. To protect the paint, they do. Is K the best jump shooter? No, but he's very streaky. He can get hot. If he gets to that mid range, he can hit that midi. You know, he's really good at mid range and that pull up. But they got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen that protect the paint, do a good job doing that. So the fact that the Cavs came out and said that quote and then backed it up without their best player says a lot. So am I going to say they're on a different class, different level? I mean, right now, I got to say, yeah, because until the Pistons prove it. So it's telling me the Cavs are the Pistons' kryptonite. So I'm going to agree. Sorry, Carl, I agree with you. I know you try to, you saw goats, and I was like trying to talk you out of it. I believe you now.
Yeah, he had to go and look into it and see the game last night. Listen, do I believe the Cavs are on a different level than the Detroit Pistons? Do I believe the fourth seed in the East is on a different level than the number 1 seed? No, I don't. I think the Pistons, I think the Knicks, I think the Cavs, I think the Celtics, as presently constructed, are all on a very similar level. They could all come out of the East. That's what I honestly believe. I don't think the Cavs are light years above anybody. Now I want to say this. I saw some numbers today. It said, since acquiring James Harden, and I've seen this every time James Harden joins a new team, this happens. Since acquiring James Harden, right? They're third in the NBA record-wise. They're 9-3. And our offensive efficiency has shot up to second in the NBA, 19.8. This happened in Houston. This was going on he got drafted to OKC, but their offense got better when he was in OKC. This happened in Houston. This happened in Cleveland. This also happened in LA. And then that playoffs rolled around, and it didn't quite look the same. It didn't quite look the same in the postseason. Matter of fact, in some of these cases, it looked that way for a period of time, and then slowly throughout the season, it digressed, going into the playoffs. But we see this everywhere he goes, because James Harden is, as much as I throw shade at James Harden, right? He is a phenomenal player, and he does make your basketball team better. So I'll say this: James Harden with this Cleveland Cavaliers team right now in the regular season, yeah, they might be on a different level than the Pistons. Do I believe come postseason time they're gonna be on a different level than the Pistons? Hell no. No, you can't convince me of that. You cannot convince me of that. On paper, they have a great roster, right? You got great pieces: Evan Mobley, James Harden, the Donovan Mitchell, and Jared Allen. You got the pieces are there. Don't get me wrong. They got to get healthy and stay healthy. That's a big question mark for them. But we got to see this play translate into the postseason. We got to see this chemistry translate into the postseason, right? Because they only been together for now a few games, and it doesn't help, as seamless as it is at times adding James Harden to a lineup. It doesn't help that Donovan Mitchell is out one game and in the next. It doesn't help that James Harden is in one game and out the next. That doesn't help your chemistry come postseason time. Now, the Pistons have played these guys in passing. Yes, they're 2-2, and the regular season matchups have not looked good. But like I said before, the playoffs is different in the regular season. When you got a whole series to game plan for a team, how you going to attack a team defensively and offensively, things tend to look different. I remember vividly a team by the name of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Last year going up against the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns wiped the floor with the Timberwolves all regular season long. And I remember vividly when everybody found out that the matchup was Phoenix and the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? Right off the bat, everybody was like, no, this wasn't like, this was the year before, because they played the Suns the year before. Everybody was like, oh man, the Timberwolves are done. The Timberwolves, they got to play the Suns. They struggle with the Suns all regular season long. And they got to the playoffs, and Ant Edwards said, nah, not today. And he fried them boys, right? McDaniels, nah, not today. Nas Reed, nah, not today. Y'all got us in the regular season, but now we are hyper-focused on just y'all. Y'all specifically? Oh, y'all are food. And that's how they treated them boys like, right? I remember last season, the Knicks couldn't beat nobody. Knicks couldn't beat nobody. Let's just be clear. We didn't have no faith in the Knicks going into the playoffs. They got the playoffs, and they made a run. And we was shocked. Like, oh, they was losing to this team, and that team, they couldn't be the contender to save their lives last year. But they yet and still made a run. And they lost to the Pacers. That was what it was, right? And the Pacers, another team that shocked everybody, had a similar story because they wasn't a juggernaut in the regular season either. And so the way I look at this matchup right now and the way I see it, I respect Cleveland. But right now, the way I look at the Detroit Pistons, I feel like this is a team that when push comes to shove, they will be unless somehow, some way, Jason Tatum comes back and he is fully healthy and looking like himself, they will be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. And I don't look at the Cleveland Cavaliers as a team. Granted, they've looked great against them in the regular season with Harden, without Harden, with Donovan Mitchell, without. It looks weird. And the matchups are very interesting, I must admit. But I'm not going into a playoff series thinking much about the regular season matchups. I'm thinking, all right, how is it going to look in money time? Do I think Cade Cunningham is going to continue to shoot 34%, 18% from three-point range, not make a three? Or do I believe he's going to be a playoff riser? I think he's going to be a playoff riser. I think his supporting cast are going to be playoff risers because I think at this point, they are built for the moment to get past the Cleveland Cavaliers team, in my opinion. Right? Do I think Donovan Mitchell is going to play well? Yes. Do I think the supporting cast for the Cavs will? Yes. But again, I always come back to this. The deciding factor between the Cavs making a serious run and the Cavs falling short will be number one, health, because them boys stay banged up. And number two, James Harden. And I don't trust James Harden. I ain't going to say they're on a different level than any team that's in the top three in either conference. I might say they're on the same level, but depending on James Harden to be the main scorer, or like some people say, well, all he got to do is facilitate, like that's some minuscule role for a playoff basketball team. Nah, I'm still taking the Pistons. I don't care what these regular season matchups have looked like as of now. So no.
So like I said, I think it's something mentally. Now, can the Detroit Pistons break out of it? Yeah. It's kind of like that bully that keep bullying you, and then that one day you say, no, I'm tired of it, and you snap out of it. So do I feel that same way when it was the Suns versus the Timberwolves in the regular season? Nah. Last year, the Detroit Pistons beat the Knicks 3-1 in the regular season. And the Knicks beat them 3-1, 4-1 in the playoffs. So, but it wasn't like that they owned the Knicks. They just won those games. Like maybe the Knicks didn't take them seriously, but we talking about they went to overtime with the Cavs. They win because they had to hit 3 free throws just to go to overtime. And then the Cavs come out and make the comment and beat y'all a few days later without Donovan Mitchell. That's crazy. That's something up here. And your best player goes 0-for-7 in the paint? That's not good. That's something mental. That's a hurdle that they got to go over. And then Donovan Mitchell, in the 2 games he plays, averaging 32.5. So he's able to get what he wants against his team. So that's why I say, now, are they on the same level when you group everybody together? Yeah. But mono against mono, more likely I'm going with the Cavs because they have psychologically proven that they're going to beat Detroit. Like I said, they said it and prove. You know how hard it is to talk trash and actually prove it? That's that's crazy. I'm about to beat him one-on-one. And then you go out there and actually beat him one-on-one. Like when you talk trash, you're giving the other person extra motivation to beat you. And they still lost without their best player playing. So that's why I said I'm gonna say yeah. And then you hear the fan in the comment section, the man over here fighting. He's fighting, he's scared himself. So I'm gonna say yes until proven otherwise. Like I said, they couldn't snap out of it in the playoffs. But right now it's looking like the Cavs actually own them mentally. It's not like the Detroit Pistons got them marked and they kind of it looked like they're running from them like Carl is in the comments.
You know what's a mental hurdle for the Cavs? Health. Another mental hurdle for the Cavs and their best player is making a playoff run. One could argue. Don't get me started on all the mental hurdles that James Harden got to get through in order to make a playoff run. All I'm saying is I definitely understand how it's looked. It has not looked good. Like you don't like going out there, team talking trash, and then their best player don't play, and you still go out there and lose. Like that don't look good. But again, I feel like I've seen this now too many times, even in forget far away history, recent history with teams that that matchup look a little weird in the regular season, and you get into the playoffs And it's a whole nother ballgame. The Detroit Pistons are the number 1 seed for a reason. Cade Cunningham is an MVP candidate for a reason. That defense is elite. When they hitting shots from the outside, they are elite. I just think that overall, when they have an opportunity to just solely lock in on this team, I think it'll look different, which is why I don't. If somebody said to me right now the Pistons are on a different level than the Knicks, I would push back on it a touch, but I wouldn't push back on it as much because they have dominated the Knicks. They have smoked the Knicks. 31 game, 40 the Knicks. Now that is a serious mental hurdle. That is like it's hard to look at anything and be like, well, of course you like to think Cat will play better, or of course you like to think so and so will play better, but it's like, no, y'all getting dismissed of. And these matchups are close. Granted, a lot of these guys are not playing. I understand that. But a lot of these matchups coming down to the wire. A lot of these matchups, couple plays here, couple plays there, that's a win. A lot of these matchups, couple plays there, couple plays here, now it's a 10-point lead or a 5-point lead. So I understand that, again, it doesn't look good when you missing Donovan Mitchell for a game and you lose, or it doesn't look good when just Donovan Mitchell plays and James Harden doesn't, and you don't look as good as you're supposed to look. But I'm telling you, that's going to hurt the Cavs as much as it hurts the Pistons, because you are going to have some chemistry issues come postseason time, whether people want to admit it or not. There's going to be chemistry issues. Maybe you work that out if you get out of the first round and you've mended that by the time you see the Pistons. Maybe that happens. But as of now, I think I have too much. I can't believe I'm saying this, or Carl in the comments. Oddly enough, I have too much respect for the Pistons right now to look at the Cavs in these few matchups and be like, they're on a different, because using that metric for a while, we could have said the Spurs on a different level than OKC, and we weren't gonna say that. I guarantee OKC's the defending champs. It's different. I know before you, because I already know what you're about to say. And they got SGA, and I already know it's different, but it's similar. The Spurs don't seem to like OKC. The Spurs do a little extra stuff when they play OKC. They started they chant when they played OKC. It's clear that they don't like OKC, and OKC don't like them. But they went out there and smacked OKC, and like I said, we can make the same argument. We can make the same argument, right? At one point, maybe not now, but then we could be like, I mean, they might be on a different level than OKC, but we're not willing to say that, because OKC not only the defending champs, but they're the defending champs coming into a season now where they still the number 1 seed in the West. And the Pistons, just off of getting bounced in the first round last year, are the number 1 seed in the East. And somebody got to show me they're on a different level than the Pistons right now, because ain't nobody shown me yet, in my opinion. Not yet. I got to see it when it counts.
See, with the OKC thing, I can look at the rosters and be like, OKC roster is better. I can do that. I can at least do that. I can't do that with the Detroit Pistons and Cavs. Cavs roster is actually better than the Detroit Pistons. Like, think about it. Who's the Pistons' second scorer? It's off that.
Yeah.
Who's the second scorer?
You got a lot of people.
They rely on Cade a lot. That's why when Cade plays bad, he's been the reason why the Pistons been losing to them. Cade's been bad. Cade got to step his game up. So, and the Cali got more playoff experience. They got, everything checks on the Cavs side. But when you look at OKC and the Spurs, everything checks on OKC side, except for OKC that has been losing to them. If the Spurs would have came out and said they're not in our class, and then 3 days later, fully healthy, they beat the OKC Thunder without Wemby. Now I'm like, bro, they got something psychological over OKC, dog. This is something psychological. Because the fact that, I didn't believe this until they just lost yesterday. The fact that they came out and said that and they lost still, that bothers me. It's like, yo, that's crazy. So until proven otherwise, and like I said, I look at their roster, and by the way, the Cavs were my Eastern Conference pick before the season started. If the season, when I look at their rosters, the Cavs do have a better team. I want to say it's a more different level, but I think they have them psychologically, and I think they can step out of it. I think Cade is capable of breaking out of his shell and then going through that hurdle against the Cavs. But Carl's right. They 7-3 against the Detroit Pistons. 7-3 in the last 10 games. And 2 of those games, Spider didn't even play.
Fair.
And I think the Cavs went on. I think they sit in Spider on purpose too. That's messing with you too. We're gonna set Spider, and then they still beat you. It's like, imagine when we had Spider. Like, I'm telling you, They playing with them right now,
Fair.
bro. They
Fair.
playing with them. Now, the media is playing with y'all, the Lakers. It's a lot of talk about LA. I mean, I don't even know where to start. There's talk about LeBron. I heard Byron Scott talking about LeBron need to leave. Tell LeBron he gotta leave. There are talks about the big three playing on the same court, how it's not working. There's talks about Luka. I mean, it's a lot going on right now. AJ, you as a Laker fan, you know, just like we did with the Eagles. You a Laker fan, you the Laker guy. We haven't really talked about the Lakers a lot this year so far. Right now, y'all are sitting in the 6th spot, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And right in front of the Phoenix Suns, who can swap with y'all, really? Because you better be happy Dylan Brooks is hurt right now. Because if he wasn't hurt, they'll be winning games still. So, AJ, just give the people your thoughts on what's going on in LA.
My thoughts when I think about the Los Angeles Lakers right now, I am glad that I came into this season without high expectations for anyone besides Luka. He was the one person I'm like, Luka, he could, potentially win MVP, slim Luka, he gonna be this, he gonna be. And Luka still, for the most part, looked like Luka to me. He's still like an offensive juggernaut, but defensively, we know what that is. And when I look at the Lakers as a whole, I think there's enough blame to go around for how they look. Number one, I agree with Byron Scott. And I've said this before. It is time for LeBron to go. Simple. It's time for LeBron to go. I agree with those who say Austin Reeves, Luka, and LeBron on the same court do not work. It's the truth. When you watch it, it's the truth. Before LeBron came, the Lakers looked a lot better than they do now with LeBron on the floor with those two guys. It's the truth. It's the truth. So there's that element of it. We know what they are defensively. Not enough people talk about the fact that they can't rebound either. They're 28th in rebound, Joe. They can't. And this, the frustrating part about this, and I got the numbers up right now, 6th seed in the East, or I'm sorry, 6th seed in the West, 26th in field goal percentage allowed, 22nd in defensive efficiency, and 28th in rebounding, right? While being the number one team shooting from the field in the league, right? But being 23rd in made threes a game. You can't shoot from the outside very well. That's obvious. You can't defend, and you can't rebound. So that is just a personnel issue. But I have a bigger issue here. JJ Redick is not bold enough for me. JJ Redick don't try enough stuff for me. I'm looking at the Lakers roster, Joe, and I'm saying to myself, dude, we saw, right, what the Mavs did. The Mavs had Luka, right? They had Kyrie, and then they had Twin Towers down there, from Lively and Gafford down there in the paint. And they drove in the paint through lobs all day long. Lob city. If you collapse on Luka, we gonna lob it. Same thing for Kyrie. If you collapse on Kyrie when he drops into the paint, we gonna lob it up. And those guys were active every game because they knew they was getting their touches. They was getting their rebounds and their points. They were getting fed. And we know big men play better when they're a part of the offense. I always ask myself and question, why don't you play at times Jackson Hayes and Aiden at the same time? Why not? You can't rebound and you can't defend. I know they could probably help one issue if they on the floor together. Maybe they rebound the ball better, right? Maybe it helps spaces things out so that people can't collapse on Luka when he gets into the paint more. Same thing with LeBron. Another thing I would say is this. If you really want to compete this year, you're going to have to make a decision between the three of them. One of the three of them got to come off the bench. It had to be said, Joe. One of them got to come off the bench. It ain't going to be Luka. We know that. So it's going to either have to be LeBron or Austin Reeves. Now, I get it. It's LeBron James. You don't want to sit LeBron James. And I also get it. Austin Reeves is a player that you want to keep happy because you want to re-sign Austin Reeves and keep him on the team. All is fair. But at some point as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, you're going to have to make a decision. The Lakers will be a better team if one of those guys is coming off of the bench running the second unit. It's not working with them three in the game at the same time. Jared Vanderbilt, why is he not getting playing time? I understand he's not the greatest shooter. He might be your best defender or second best, maybe right there with Marcus Smart. Why is he not getting more playing time? He's now offensively effective. I understand all of that. But again, when you're playing the way you're playing right now, and not a lot is working, it doesn't hurt to try things. It doesn't hurt to attempt things before the postseason, because you got to the postseason and start trying stuff. You got to the postseason and decided you didn't want to play Jackson Hayes for a whole 2 games, a whole second. Jackson Hayes, who played all regular season and played well for you, might I add, played well for you. You decided against Rudy Gobert, who went off for like 25 rebounds against us, right? And I think it was game 5, right? You decided not to put your best big on the floor. Right? So you tried that then. You tried for the first time in I don't know how many years playing the same lineup for an entire second half. You tried that. In my opinion, that ain't the time to be trying stuff like that. If you want to try stuff like that, try it in the regular season and see if it works then. Don't wait till the postseason and completely change up how you run things. So I just think even though the roster is deficient in things that they need to be efficient at, like getting rebounds and defending, we know what the roster is. We knew what it was heading into the season. Right? There are things that JJ Redick can do to help alleviate some of the issues to an extent. There are things he could try, but he don't try. Even something like this, Joe, stuff just coming to mind. It's no reason. We see what the Warriors do with Steph in his prime. Steph, we're going to have you in here for offensive possessions down the stretch. When the timeout is called for defensive possessions, Steph ain't on the floor. Luka don't miss a beat, whether you're on offense or defense in the crunch time of these 4th quarters. And I don't understand it because we know he's not going to defend. Why he out there? Why is he on the floor? That's the time for Marcus Smart to be out there. That's the time for Vanderbilt to be out there. That's the time for Hachimura to be out there. That's the time for guys that's going to, and I will put Bron out there because Bron, oddly enough, at this age, when he really wants to, can still defend. But that's the time for you put your best defenders out there, and when you get the ball back on offense, you call it time. JJ don't do that. JJ leave Luka out there to be a liability, and all teams do is attack it. He ain't going down there banging, getting a bunch of boards down the stretch. It's just stuff like that doesn't make sense. It feels like even though he gets on the players to the media, and it seems like he gets on the players right when the cameras are on during the games, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Because if you really feel the way you feel about the team and how they've been playing, you would have been made some drastic changes. Bron, I hate to do this to you. Go next year anyway. I'm gonna sit you for a little bit. Or Reeves, listen, bro, love you and we want to keep you, but in order for this to work, I'm gonna sit you for a little bit. Hey, we gonna give this player some burn. We're gonna give that player some burn, right? There are decisions that could be made. And the last thing I'll say before I pitch it to you is this, Joe. Aiden's so trash, bro. Oh my gosh, dog. DeAndre Ayton is bad, bro. Like, he's okay, but he's bad at the same time, bro. He got a little Rudy Gobert in him. And what I mean by that is, like, he got a little clumsiness in him. He got kind of brick hands at times. I'm right here near the basket, but I miss a wide open lob or a wide open layup or a good pass. I just fumble the ball out. Like, Rudy does that type of stuff all the time. And DeAndre Ayton got a lot of that in him. A lot of times he ain't locked in. We heard about the comparisons. They want me to be Clint Capella. Yeah, we do. That's exact. Bro, imagine if you were Clint Capella. That will fix a lot of issues. You will be a lob threat at the rim. You will be swatting everything at the basket. You will be a defensive. Yes, that would be amazing for us. But no, you too busy trying to be DeAndre Ayton. And that clearly ain't working. Which is why, again, you can't sit him for too long because you need him out there as a big body. But I'm giving Hayes some minutes too at the same time and just seeing how that works. Let's just see how it works. Right? But like I said before I even started all of this, I am happy that I didn't go into this season thinking that we was going to win the championship. I felt like we got an outside shot because we got Luka, we got Bron, and we got AR. But I'm glad I spent all NFL season looking at my Eagles and looked at the Eagles and looked at the Lakers when I had to. Because one night they looked like one of the best teams in basketball because offensively they can light it up. And then the next night when they go up against a premier team, we look like how we look most of the time, it feels like, which is why we're the 6th seed in the West. And let me just double check. I didn't get a chance to check this before we went live. Who's the 3rd seed in the Western Conference right now?
Is it Houston?
Houston? Oddly enough, I feel like we could be Houston. But if we mess around and see the Wolves, the Spurs, the Nuggets, prepare for a first round exit. I actually think the Rockets might be your best matchup. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going to lie. But any of them other teams I just mentioned, yeah, you're going home in the first round. I think the Lakers are prepping for next season, and they've been prepping for next season since the season started, and they have packed it in already. That's my honest opinion. They already done packed it in. We just looking forward to next year when Bron ain't here and we can make all these moves. But y'all better make him when he gone. That's another thing too, Joe. It's been a whole lot of, well, LeBron feeds up all this cap space. When he gone though, y'all better be aggressive, because y'all had chances to be aggressive when LeBron, before Luka came, y'all had chances to be aggressive with LeBron still playing at a high level, and y'all wasn't. So when LeBron gone, Lakers fans waiting on them moves. We don't care how many banners are in the Raptors. We want more. So we waiting. We waiting.
See, the problem with making moves, y'all didn't have draft capital.
Fair.
And then y'all roster, like, it wasn't attractive either. You know what I mean? So, like, it was hard to make moves. But I do want to say this. I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens to JJ Redick if LeBron leaves? You think he will be the coach next year?
What I think happens to JJ Redick if LeBron? Yes, I do.
You do?
Number one, I do. Number one, I'm already expecting LeBron to leave. So I think that's already a foregone conclusion. And I think the Lakers expect LeBron to leave. I think it's already a foregone conclusion. But I actually believe them when they said, we are signing JJ Redick for the present and the future. We're not just signing JJ Redick to coach here for a year or two. You can't at this point in LeBron's career. If Luka leaves, that's a whole nother conversation. But you can't attach your head coaching decision at this point in time to LeBron, because LeBron was gonna pick up and lead, like no matter who was brought in, things was probably gonna go like this anyway. Even though JJ could tweak some things, like I said, but things was gonna go similar no matter what, and LeBron was gonna dip. It's just what he's getting ready to most likely do unless he retires. So they say behind closed doors, LeBron wasn't really consulted about the JJ Redick hire. I'm not sure if I believe that or not, but they say this wasn't a hire for LeBron, and LeBron said himself, the Lakers have to do what's best for the Lakers, because I ain't gonna play forever. So I think that needs to continue to be our mindset. I think JJ has potential to be a great coach, and I don't think he's a bad coach now. I think he's going through growing pains, but I think that honestly, when LeBron leaves, continue that coaching staff that you already have in place, because who you gonna bring in that's gonna be amazing, in my opinion, with what you have right now. Continue to keep JJ. Now, if this continues for the next year to two with Luka, and you've built a team around Luka, and y'all still look similar, now I'm out on JJ. But I think JJ deserves an opportunity without LeBron. I think the Lakers deserve an opportunity without LeBron to build around Luka to see what they can accomplish before you get rid of JJ.
Yeah, I would think it's unfair to fire him if LeBron leaves, because, like you just said, something like, one of y'all got to come off the bench, and obviously it might be, well, Austin Reeves could be that firecracker off the bench right now, but
he could.
Yeah, he could be that firecracker, but when it comes to LeBron, he kind of got to post unintentionally, because it's not like he's demanding it. I don't think he's demanding anything, but his presence, like, he's LeBron James, and that's a lot of pressure for a first-time head coach. So I don't, and with all the analytic things he got going on, I think he'll do wonders with Luka with the right things around him. And then DeAndre Ayton, I thought that was a weird pickup, because, like, he's right. Y'all want him to be more like a Clint Capella. But hey, you in the NBA, you gotta adjust to your role. You gotta adjust to your role for the better of the team. But that's not what he is. So getting him was a mistake, because what he is a mid-range. He wanted the ball in that mid-post, in that mid-range, and he's want to go to work right there. That's what he did in Portland. He was with Phoenix, he was doing that. And then when they got KD and all these, they got everybody there, his role got limited. And then he went to Portland. He started getting into his bag again. And now he's in LA. He's back to lob threat. That's probably why he's fumbling and bumbling and all that stuff, because everything he's doing is like last second stuff. That's a lot of pressure. It shouldn't be for an NBA player, but it's especially if you're in your head a lot, it's more of a pressure shot than him in this natural form, just in the mid range.
It's not
so. Yeah, it's not his game, basically, but it should be easier. So when it comes to the Lakers, to me, man, they're the Lakers, man. They're going to be in the media regardless.
Yeah.
I don't think nobody has faith in them doing anything this year, because the roster just don't match. I like what you said of playing Jackson Hayes and DeAndre Ayton. I don't think nobody has ever said that. And I did hear a report come out today that said that, next year they are trying to build a 2.0 version of the Dallas Mavericks with Austin Reeves and Luka. You know how they had Kyrie and Luka and they got them two bigs. They're gonna try to do the same thing going forward. So everybody's already counting LeBron out. I think it's time for LeBron to leave too, not just for the Lakers side, but for the LeBron side. LeBron should just leave too. So I mean, like I said, it's not too much like I have for the Lakers. I mean, you said it all. I just had that question for you. About JJ Redick and all that stuff, and you already answered my other question I have for you. Do you think LeBron should leave? You answered that off rip. You said yes. So, but I think, and then let me ask you this. I do want to ask you this. I know we're going to talk about Luka. I want to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
And this question been circling around the media. Jay Will came out and talked about it. You could quickly answer it. I know we're on time. Do you think with the right team around Luka, y'all gonna win a championship?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. I think that you have to have certain things in place for Luka, though. Like, we know what made the Mavs what the Mavs were the year that they went to the finals, right? Was the fact that you had Luka at the top, and Luka oftentimes dominated the ball, or Kyrie would dominate the basketball, right? You had Kyrie spacing the floor. You had PJ Washington stretching the floor, and you had those two bigs, right? So offensively, Luka is able to get to whatever shot he wants, right? He can shoot the three, right? He can shoot the mid range. He can get into the paint. But the moment you try to collapse on Luka in the paint, he did it to the Wolves all series. Anytime they tried to double team him in the paint, he just lobbed it up to one of those bigs went and got it. And that was what it was, right? Kyrie Irving was doing the same exact thing. I'm going to hit these shots from the outside. I'm going to boogie from the mid-range. I'm going to do what I can. And when I get in this paint, either I'm going to lay it up and you not going to block it because you worried about the lob threat, or you're going to try to block it, and I'm going to throw the lob. And they did that all series long against the Wolves, who at the time was like the best defensive team in basketball, and the Wolves had no answer for it. That's what Ant out there. That's what Rudy out there. That's what Jaden McDaniels. That's what some of the best defenders in the league out there. They had no answer for it, right? Defensively. We know Luka is straight Olay defense. Olay. We know what that is. But you had those two bigs in the paint that if you got past Luka, you weren't finishing over the top of them. You was getting swatted, and the ball was coming out in transition. Not Kyrie pushing the ball in transition, Luka pushing the ball in transition. That's how they ran their offense. And then they will put Luka on somebody that they know not gonna score like that, right? And it will work that way. You kind of hide Luka, similar to what the Warriors did for a period of time with Steph Curry. It was almost the same thing. They didn't have those Twin Towers down there, the Warriors, but they had Draymond, and they had Bogut, and they had other guys that could make things tough. The Lakers could do the same thing, bro. They could do a version of it now. Like Jackson Hayes for the Lakers is a very underrated piece. I know what I saw last year. Jackson Hayes can actually play. Jackson Hayes not an amazing defender, no, but Jackson Hayes is a very young, athletic dude that can be like that could be like a Lively down there. Now, I understand that Aiden can be kind of a mid-range assassin, but that's even more of a reason to put Jackson Hayes out there, because Jackson Hayes ain't. Jackson Hayes can play in the paint, kind of like be like an Andrew, not to go back to the previous Laker team, be like an Andrew Bynum down there. Just sit back there, get your lobs, give rebounds, lay the ball up, and DeAndre Ayton could be your Pau Gasol, attacking you from the mid-range. You could try. At least they're not the same players, obviously, but you could try it. The one thing that killed the Mavs last year, or not last year, I think it was last year. The year before. The one thing that killed the Mavs when they seen the Celtics in the finals, because people always go back to how Luka and the Mavs looked in the finals, and what we seen they can't win with Luka. Is the Celtics was so loaded, you couldn't hide Luka. No, you couldn't hide him, bro. Freaking Sam Hauser was out there taking him off the dribble, hitting perimeter shots. Peyton Pritchard was doing his thing. You had a dog in Jaylen Brown. Then you got Jason Tatum. You got Drew Holiday. You got Kristaps Porzingis. Everybody on the floor could shoot. Everybody on the floor was a threat to score, so you couldn't hide Luka nowhere. On top of the fact that Jaylen Brown was strapping. Jaylen Brown, low key, is Luka's kryptonite when it comes to defense. And so the Celtics were just a great matchup for the Mavs. And not only was they strapping Luka, they were strapping Kyrie too. Nobody will talk about how Kyrie was terrible in that series for most of the time.
Nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about how bad Kyrie was, but for maybe one game, I think it was game 3 of the series. And so, yes, you could win with Luka Doncic, but you gotta build around Luka. You gotta have your bigs down in the paint that's gonna block and swat shots and get rebounds. You gotta have some shooters around them that can space the floor and shoot. And you gotta have a guy like a Kyrie or like a Austin Reeves or another guy that can create and get their own. When Luka gets tired or gassed, you gotta have that second guy that can go out there, get you a bucket, and do similar things that Luka does by putting pressure on the defense, from shoot from the outside, mid-range, and get into the paint, and either laying the ball up, dunking, or throwing a lob. It ain't hard to me, bro. I think we read too deep into Luka not being a good defender. Like, we ain't seen other players, from history, not be great defenders, but still compete and still be at the top at one point. Allen Iverson wasn't an amazing defender. He didn't win a championship because he ran up against Kobe and Shaq. Otherwise, he'd have been a champion. He wasn't no damn defender. Steph Curry wasn't no defender. But you had a team around Steph. You had another playmaker in Clay that could put the same pressure on the defense that Steph could put on the defense. You had Draymond, who's an all-time defender. You had Iguodala, who's an all-time defender. Sean Livingston used to get down on the defensive end. Even Harrison at one point. Harrison Barnes used to defend at a high level. You just gotta build around guys like that. It ain't what you like. You don't want to have to build around it. You want a guy to improve defensively, but he's proven that's not who he is. I think if the Lakers build around Luka, we'll be fine.
Yeah, you gotta build a team around everybody. Everybody needs a team built around. Look at SGA's team, bro.
Bro. Not only that, I hate to go down this route, but you needed a certain team to win with Kobe.
Yes.
You needed you needed dominant bigs to win with Kobe. You need great shooters on the outside and another guy who could put pressure on the defense, whether it be an AD, a D-Wade, or a Kyrie, to win a championship. You needed a certain team, in my opinion, and I know people disagree with this take, but you needed a certain team built around MJ too. You needed great coaching. You needed another wingman who could put pressure on the defense and defend at times the best player on the opposite floor to preserve Jordan at times offensively. For every great player, you need a certain team built around them to succeed. You can't just grab any pieces and expect a great player to just find a way to win a champ. They'll be a playoff team, but they won't be a championship team. That's just the facts. That's just the facts.
Man. It's crazy, man. People say stuff like that. It's like,
but
hey, y'all play all ball defense. He says it himself. He said he wasn't a great defender, but he was great at anticipating the pass.
And credit to Steph too, because I think Steph led the league in steals 1 year or two.
Steph
was a solid.
But Luka led throughout the whole playoff, led the Mavs in every statistical category, including steals.
That's what I'm saying. I think people they got that burning image of how he looked in that Celtics game, and then in that Celtics series, and then since then he ain't been healthy. Then he got traded to the Lakers. We had the first round exit last year, and you got how him and the Lakers look this year, and it's like, you can't win with him. But the man was just in the finals and went on. And
Western Conference Finals before that. People forget about that. He taught where was this? You can't win with Luka when he destroyed the Suns. Mm-hmm. Where was this? You can't win with Luka when he beat the number 1 seed OKC Thunder. Well, where was all this talk? When he went in Minnesota and beat them. Yep. What was all this talk? But I bet you can win with Anthony Edwards though. Come on, man. I get it. He has bad habits. He complains to refs. He's not a good defender. I get you. But the man, he's good enough to win a championship. Let's stop playing.
Yeah, for sure. You want him to change some things, but he's shown who he is, and the Lakers knew who he was before they traded for him, which is why I'm saying, hey, LeBron's gonna be gone. Make the necessary. Get you some bigs that could defend and it starts there. Get you some bigs that could defend and rebound, and you'll be fine. Get you some guys that can shoot the ball from the outside, and Luka will carry you. Luka will carry you.
That man scene
But
wasn't even all that. But go ahead, man.
they wasn't, man. Bro, people, like I said, Joe, people just be saying stuff, man. Sometimes people just be saying stuff, and you just hear it, and you just like, bro, what are we talking about?
But
Do
that
you
man scene
forget how that?
wasn't that great, bro. They just
It
had the right
wasn't.
pieces.
You just had the pieces that you had. Like I said, sometimes people just say stuff, and that just brings me to Draymond. In my opinion, just saying stuff. As we wrap up today's show, Draymond has some interesting things to say about Luka, about Nico Harrison. Now he didn't say these things before, but now he's saying these things given how Luka and the Lakers have looked. I gotta ask you, Joe, what are your thoughts as you're getting ready to play what Draymond said? What are your thoughts on Draymond Green's comments as he comes at the media for their conversations and their talking points about Nico Harrison right now?
Let's play the video.
Was it the right thing or wrong thing? I'm not a Dallas Maverick. I don't really care if it was the right thing or the wrong thing. But what I do care about is so many people crush Nico Harrison for the reasons that he gave. And when Nico gave those reasonings, everybody said he's ridiculous, he's crazy. This has nothing to do with Luka, by the way, what I'm saying. But now when I turn on the TV, all I see is everybody in the media who crushed Nico Harrison, who essentially aided in him getting fired, regurgitating the same things that Nico Harrison was saying. And I struggle with that because I haven't seen one person come out and say, hey, Nico, I'm sorry for the things I said about you when you made that move. Because I just said the same thing out of my mouth.
All right. So, first of all, the people that are talking about Luka's defense, they are not disagreeing with the defensive things that Nico Harrison said. The issue is his GM skills. What did he get from Luka for Luka? I went back and look at the trade.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Lakers got more.
They did. They did. They did. They did.
So the Lakers got Luka, Max Kleber, and Markieff Morris. The Mavericks got AD, who's no longer there, by the way, Max Christie, in the first round pick. That's it. That's dumb. We saw Rudy Gobert about 2 years prior to that go for 4 first-round picks. We saw Desmond Bane just go for 4 first-round picks. We saw Mikal Bridges go for like 4 or 5 first-round picks. And Luka goes for 1 first-round pick in AD? A guy who played for you probably what? I should have done that stat. I mean, I forgot how many games he played. He barely played like any games for real. He played like a total like 12 total games, something crazy like that. The whole time he's with the Dallas Mavericks. This injury, that injury. I think he had more injuries than games he played.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people are mad, because of what you got from him. And Draymond Green is like, I feel like sometimes it's weird because when you, I'm not trying to criticize, I'm kind of young. When you have a podcast or something like that, you normally prep for this. And I'm thinking like when he prepped for this, did he ask himself, maybe they mad at what they got back from Luka? Like that never came to his mind. Like he said things sometimes, and I just be like he had. I know this is an off topic, and some people might agree with him. He had this Magic City quote, and like what he said with that, I disagree with that. I'm not sure you heard what he said about that.
I didn't hear what he said.
You know, no, my views are different, but so I'm gonna say it here. So okay. I forgot who it was. It's a big from I think it was somebody from the Celtics. Was it Celtics? So, it was a big from somewhere. And he's like a role player. I forgot who he was. I forgot his name, but they are doing a tribute for Magic City, Atlanta Hawks. They're like promoting Magic City in a game, right? And then the senator said, "I would appreciate they don't do that." He said, "I don't think it's right." Woo woo. And then Draymond like basically he tripping like it's an art. You know what I mean? It's a great art. And I'm like, Draymond, shut up, man. Like, be quiet, bro. Oh yeah, Lou Cornett. Yeah, Lou Cornett, the Spurs. So he just says things sometimes. I'm like, bro, like this stay out of it, man. Just stay out of it. He got a microphone now. He gonna say what he says, but I totally disagree with him, and I think the world does too. Even the people who feel like Luka defense is terrible disagree with Draymond Green. And sorry, last thing I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
He started off by saying, "Did they trade him? Was it right or wrong?" That's the whole point. What are you talking about? That's the whole point. It has nothing to do with the defense. It's the fact that nobody's mad at the reason why he traded Luka. They're mad at what you got for Luka. Nobody talking like, come on, bro. All right, go ahead.
Joe, this makes me think about a bigger picture. A bigger picture. Now, Draymond Green has been the leader, in my opinion, of a movement that he calls new media. New media views things differently. New media, not like old media. The old media crucifies the players and criticizes the players. And now you got all these random podcasters that talk about the game. They don't know nothing about the game. And So new media is like the players. The players now, new media, they come out and say this. And listen, as a guy who has never played in the NBA, a guy who's never played, high level college ball, I listen, I hear you. My issue comes in where you say that type of stuff as if everything you say after you start this new media movement, everything the athletes say is going to be accurate. Everything going to be on point. Everything going to make sense. Everything is going to resonate. And the more I listen, the more I say, bruh, I get that you're a four-time champion. I get that you are a future Hall of Famer, former Defense Player of the Year. But what the hell are you talking about? The same way he listens to Stephen A., or he may come across some random sports podcast, or he listens to Unfazed, let's just say, and he's like, these dudes don't know what they talking about. A lot of people listen to Draymond and feel the same way at times when he's not talking about the X's and O's of the game. This was a take that he came out with because, from my understanding, he's good friends with Nico Harrison. Apparently, they have a good relationship. And so he's coming out trying to defend Nico Harrison. But he's missing critical aspects of the story, right? Yes, people are talking about Luka being a bad defender and Luka having certain intangibles missing and things of that nature, right? People are talking about that. People are also talking about, dang, AD not there no more. The piece that you trade a player like Luka Doncic, you are looking to get foundational pieces back. I want players. I want every pick you got. I want everything. And if he would have went and surveyed the market and asked multiple teams, he'd have got that. The same player that's a defensive liability, the same player who might be a headache to his coaching staff, the same player, who complains all the time to the referees, you'd have got 7 first-round picks and maybe a star or two back just for the services of Luka Doncic. But you went to one team, the Los Angeles Lakers, traded for a player that's older and injury-prone, right? Got 1 pick in 2029, and not only did you do that, you looked at people crazy when they said you was crazy. You came out to the media and said, I'm making this move to win right now. You didn't say you making this move to win 5 years from now. 6. You said I'm bringing in AD because defense wins championships, and I believe this team could win a champion. That's what he said. He sold the fan base on we trying to win right now, and they immediately got worse. Immediately, while the Lakers ascended to the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. Now, granted, they lost in the first round. But at the time that the trade was made, Luka came in playing well, and the Lakers ascended to the number 3 seed in the West. So, like you said, Joe, it wasn't just about you traded away a player that has this defensive liabilities or defensive deficiencies and things of that nature. Everybody knew that. It was about how you went about it, and it was about what you sold to the fan base after you did it. Because it was a bad move basketball-wise, it was a horrible move business-wise as well. Look how many people stopped buying tickets. Look at how many people bought tickets just to chant "Fire Nico." They didn't care. Them fans didn't care about Luka's defensive deficiencies. They didn't care about, Luka crying to the referees. They said we was just in the finals, and this is a guy this is the homegrown talent that we drafted. That is the future of this team that you just traded away for a great player, Anthony Davis, again, who's injury prone and not even here no more. And now he's out of a job. So, Draymond, tell the whole story. It sounds good now because of how Luka playing right now, how the Lakers playing. And it sounds good right now, but he didn't say nothing about the Mavs and how they look, though. He didn't say nothing about the Mavs ain't really contending for nothing right now. He didn't say nothing about put a lot of pressure on Kyrie Irving. Now Kyrie Irving is out. He didn't say nothing about the players that you traded for, Anthony Davis, who was supposed to be a cornerstone piece, ain't with the team. He didn't mention that. He just mentioned, well, look at how Luka's looking now since you traded him. The media is saying the same stuff that they were saying before. Same stuff that Nico Harrison was saying. Come on, bro. Tell the whole story. We know what you're trying to do. And I can't stand, Joe. I can't stand sometimes, and sometimes there's a time and place for every team. There is a time and place to get on the media. Sometimes the media does a lot. We understand that, but there are times where the media is on point, and I feel like the players at times they take it as a slight all the time. A lot of the times, bro, some of these media members be telling the truth, and they got sources that are telling them directly what's happening. Yo, Stephen A. might not tell you that. The owner told me this. He might not tell you that, yo, one of your guys told me this. Somebody close to you actually told me this. So you might want to talk to your brother, or you might want to talk to the owner, or you might want to talk to the GM. It takes me back to when Stephen A. was the first to break that Katie was trying to get out of OKC, and he might go to the Warriors. And Katie was in the uproar for it. And Stephen A. like, yo, I'm hearing from people close to you that that's what you're getting ready to do. Same thing with LeBron. Same thing. I hear LeBron trying to go to Miami, and it was an uproar about that. And he like, I'm hearing from people close to you that this is what you're getting ready to do. So you might want to check on the inner circle.
Talk to your boy.
You know what I mean? Maybe he lied. Maybe he did. I'm just telling you. And then what happened? KD went to Golden State. LeBron went to Miami.
Nice.
I mean, come on now. It's that part for me is frustrating. I'm all for players having their own platform. Who am I to tell an NBA player they can't have their own platform and speak what their truth? I mean, come on now. Who am I to say that, right? But at the same time, don't get on the podcasters and don't get on the media when you step in front of a mic and you don't know what you're talking about either. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just talking. And you're talking to defend the guy that you're fond of. But when the media does it, when the media plays favorites, and the media big ups a guy because they like a guy, it's a problem. If it ain't you, it's a problem. It's crazy to me, Joe. It's crazy.
See, that's why these debate shows are good, because he has no one there challenging him.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody was there, would have said, but you think they said that? You think people are mad at him because of that? What about the actual trade? Then what would he have said? He would have been like, well, I'm not about to get into all that.
He would say it ain't about that. It's the fact that they was mad at the fact that they traded Luka in the first place. I mean, that is a part of it. That's a part of it. But it's about how he went about doing it. There was a way to do that and a way not to do that. And he did it. And not only did he do it the wrong way, Joe, he traded him to the Lakers.
The Lakers, a Western Conference opponent, bro. And here's the thing. You know how people complain about LeBron be flopping a lot? Imagine somebody trade LeBron. Like just because you complain about a deficiency of a player, don't mean you have to trade him. His offense oversees all that. Jokic not good defensively. Jokic also cries the referee all the time. People don't talk about that. He cries all the time.
All the time.
Bro, we trade. Are we going to trade Jokic? Oh, he's that good. We're not going to trade him. He's a foundational piece. And Luka does not even enter his prime yet. He's still going to get better. He's young. Like, what do you got? And then lastly, you just left the finals. Like,
just went to the finals.
Just came from the finals, bro. The man got you to the Western Conference Finals, lost to a overpowered Warriors. He didn't have a team for real. And then he lost to an overpowered Celtics. It's your job as a GM to go to work and put stuff around him. You know his deficiencies. That's your job. You saw what happened when you put stuff around him. And like you said, nobody talked about Kyrie Irving in that finals. It's not just Luka, because Luka is still balled out. Defensively, he got cooked, but offensively, he was good. It was Kyrie then. If Kyrie would have showed up, bro, it would have been more of a
different series. Yep.
So Nico Harrison, Draymond, bro, this. I know some people responding to him. I gotta go look and see. I know some people did because he wilding. Blaming the media. What the heck?
I would hope so. I would hope so, bro. And just not letting him just run with what he's saying, because he want the media to come out and say, "My bad, Nico. I was wrong." Wrong about what?
Wrong about what?
Wrong about what? He talking like the Mavs won the trade and the Mavs are in the number 2 seed in the West. The AD playing lights out and they just balling. Bruh, no. They are starting from ground zero now. Hoping that Cooper Flag eventually takes them to the promised land. That's what they hope.
You know what's funny? He has no problem coming out talking about Cat. He has no problem coming out talking about Rudy Gobert. When he has a problem with a player, he has no problem going into his podcast and talking about him. But when there's somebody he cool with or somebody he got no problem with, he sugarcoat. That's what all the athletes do. They dance around it, and that's why athletes are not in the media for real, because they can't keep it real. They can't keep it 100 behind the mic. And guys like a Stephen A. or the people you don't like even Skip Bayless back then, right, when he was really on all the time, he's still on right now. They had their favorites, but they can keep it 100 when you mess up. Players can't do that because they're so worried about what people are gonna say and how their relationship gonna be, and that's why you're not in the media for us. So it's harder. My thing is respect it. Respect the guys, because the reason why you making the money you making, the media is part of it. The reason why the media covers the NBA 24/7. If we didn't have all these shows like First Take, if we didn't have Undisputed back then, or even I don't really watch the dude Colin Coward. If we didn't have Fox Sports and ESPN covering all this stuff, that wouldn't be getting paid like that. It's because they are bringing eyes to the game. The fact, like Unfazed, the people who watch Unfazed, they know you're an Eagles fan, and guess what? They're going to watch the Eagles to see what AJ going to say. And then when the Eagles come on, they're going to say, oh, they're thinking about AJ, because you're advertising the Eagles. So that's why you got to, as a player, you have to respect the media and or show some respect. And they paved the way for you to be in the lane. Like, come on. Stop disrespecting the media all the time. Like, come on, man.
Joe, I couldn't have said it no better. You said exactly when I started off by saying this moment is just bigger than what he said. There's a bigger, broader picture. You said exactly what I was trying to say. I thank you for that. I got nothing else. That was perfect.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Great show, man. Great show. Appreciate everybody who stayed later. You know, my time it's 11:23. You know what I mean? We up. You know what I mean? We here. But my last word, shout out to the whole R2L network. Shout out to the whole R2L family. Shout out to everybody watching on Timeout for Timeout. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. We appreciate y'all. I see some of y'all was going back and forth with us in the comments. Shout out to Carl being here from the start. You know what I mean? Shout out to you. My man AJ do a little video in the chat. He was like, you know, I can't show a clip of me hitting everything. I gotta show some misses in there too. You know what I mean? I can't look perfect. You know what I mean?
Gotta give people hope. Gotta give them hope. You know what I mean? Okay, it's a few misses in there. You know what I mean?
Like, shooting on three. You know what I mean? You know, Big O coming out hating. You know what I mean? Shout out to Big O. So, you know, we got R2L weekend. You know, we're gonna officially announce it. Come up with like a some type of promotion video and stuff like that. Officially announcing on the. But the people in the community know when the date and time is and all that stuff, right? So make sure y'all lock in. It's gonna be in June, so make sure y'all put in your calendars for June. But the Kings, man, hey, we tanking. Nothing much to say about that. The Commanders, free agency coming up. I'm hearing every youngin at the podium. What quarterback you want to play with? I mean, me and Jay and Daniels will be a good duo. I mean, I like to play with Jay and Daniels. I mean, everybody is throwing my man in the hat. I'm like, dang. I mean, I don't. Did anybody say Hurts? I mean, everybody calling Dan Daniels, man. You know what I mean? So I heard a couple of defensive guys want to play with y'all though. But my man, I get it. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna be back next year though. I really do. I think we're gonna be back. I'm excited about this year. The draft coming up. We got a high draft pick. We got some cap space. We cut Marshall Lattimore. Jesus, you know what I mean? Cut that man. Free up some cap space. But yeah, man. I don't think Debo coming back either. So we gotta get a wide receiver too. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, man. First thing I want to say, shout out to everybody watching, obviously on my channel, Time Out or Full Time Out, the R12 community that always tunes in. Appreciate y'all. Always appreciate my boy JJ Joe Jordan. Always a pleasure. Always fun, sharing this stage with you. Eagles fans, March 11th. Be on the lookout. That is the day that the free agency opens and starts. That is the day the Eagles pod is dropping. Now, I'm hoping to be off work that day. If I'm off work that day, I'm going live. And we're going to have a good time discussing what's coming through. You know what I'm saying? Discussing what moves the Eagles should make. Maybe they've traded Ajae Brown by that time. Maybe they haven't. But be on the lookout March 11th. Joe, I had to put a date on it because you get so busy with work and other stuff, spending time with the wife and the family. You get so busy that's like, dang, man, I ain't got no time. But now I put an official date on this thing. So just be alert. Be on alert. March 11th, we starting fresh, and we're going to get this thing cooking. We're going to get this thing. We're going to get this thing cooking, and it's going to be fun.
The only Eagle thing I got.
Had to. Glad you ain't played at the 5-5. Glad you ain't let that play. I appreciate you. Like I said, to Eagles fans outside of the podcast that's dropping it, I'll go into further detail later. Trust Howie Roseman. That's all I got to say.
Of course.
Trust Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman has come to Philadelphia and built 2 championship teams. 2. He got us one in 2017. He got us one in 2024. Okay? So best believe no matter what happens with Ajae, if Dallas Goedert leaves, if we lose Nakobe Dean, these moves will hurt. But Howie Roseman will make sure that he makes the necessary moves to keep us in contention. And even more than Howie Roseman, trust your quarterback. That's all I'm going to say. Because no matter what, he's had us in the postseason. Don't matter what the roster has looked like. He's had us in contention, at least in the postseason, with a shot in the dance. That's all I got to say. All right? And as far as the Lakers are concerned, just keep doing what you're doing. At this point, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully you get the Heat. I'm sorry. Hopefully you get the Rockets in the first round, and that's the matchup that we all hoping for. Hopefully it work out. Worst case scenario, you end up in the play-in. Y'all like a half a game out of the play-in right now. Best case scenario, you get back up to the 3rd seed. At this point, man, continue to do what you do. Y'all don't give me no hope. We'll see what y'all do next season. And then, like I said, I'm glad I've had this mindset all year long because you just know. But Joe, with free agency loading up, we ain't talk about Trent McDuffie going to the Rams. Mm-hmm. That's a big time move.
That's a big move in the NFC.
A huge move in the NFC.
They needed too.
It is some defense, some help in that secondary. So with all of this free agency stuff kicking up, the combine, right? We got the NFL draft, and I'm sitting back with a podcast coming out, and Howie Roseman as my GM. Joe, you already know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling unfazed.
Unfazed. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.